used papers. And it was a good deal for me because, I mean, they treated me like a queen. But
Hope they gave you a good discount.
they did. They gave me a really good discount. I got a good deal on the car.
That was one of the things they brought out in the right stuff too. How everybody was coming with real estate deals for them and come, you know, be my golf tournament and.
Those days are gone. They used to get free houses and free Corvettes.
Yeah.
Like now we cannot accept those.
Doggone it.
Yeah, you can accept a $5 coffee mug.
I live in this little apartment, and that's fine. It's, my car payment's now higher than my rent. I got an Acura bigger.
Ooh.
Every
It has a dicky apartment or a real nice car.
like a 900 square foot apartment and a real nice car. But
Actors are nice.
they, it's really weird, but 90% of the astronauts, when they get assigned to their first flight or fly their first flight, go off flying cars. It's like
That is
weird.
interesting.
And I was no exception. I can't tell you what it was that drove me to do this, but something drove me to do this. Something drove me to go out and get a new car. So my
Cycle, astronaut psychology.
I think there's, you're closer to that being that says, buy a car, buy a car.
I know.
God spoke over my shoulder. I need a new car.
Were there any of those really intense experiences while you were orbiting?
No, Greg and Don and I, one night, the three of us were on the flight deck, and John and Mario had already gone to bed, and it was the next to the last night before coming home. And you know, we were on the dark side, and you're on the day side 45 minutes, and on the dark side 45 minutes. And I had a hard time deciding whether I liked the dark side of the Earth or the day side of the Earth better. And I finally decided I liked the dark side better because the pictures that you see of the shuttle photography, that's all the day side stuff. And it looked like that, except the field of view was wider and the colors were a little different. But dark side, we don't really have any photography of. And we could see thunderstorms, we could see meteors going into the atmosphere below us.
Wow.
And
Wow.
we could see, jillions of stars, and the three of us got in a discussion that went from being scientific to philosophical. It's like, are we the only ones out here? And what if someone else is out there? Should we meet them? Or we just ruin ourselves if we try to meet other beings, whatever they may be? It's hard to believe. You can see nebulas, you can see the different colors of the stars. The stars are different colors.
Yeah, that was I found interesting to me in that one slideshow thing, that I assumed they were all the same color.
No,
And they
they're all
just look-
different.
They just look round.
Yeah, they just look brown. And some of them have a haze around
1,000
them.
points of light, I'll bet. Is what they look
Yeah, trillions points of light. They all have haze. A lot of them have haze around them, so they don't look like a ball. But they have different colors, like the yellow suns and the white dwarfs and the red giants. But you look out, there's like, nebulas and trillions of stars. Unbelievable number of stars. Unbelievable. It's incredible. And that's when you start to go, we can't possibly be the only ones here. We can't possibly be. And so that was really neat talking about that. We all asked each other's questions like that.
In the right stuff, there was a moment, I guess, when John Glenn saw the brilliant, millions of stars right through his window. Like there was fireflies out there.
Oh, we saw fireflies. You know what that is?
What?
At least you know what it was for us? Was the space shuttle has 24 rocket jets on it to maintain its pointing direction. And these jets, they form ice on the nozzles. And the ice breaks away. And the breakaway ice comes out in little pieces.
Oh, little crystals.
Yeah, it zings off in different directions. And it also, some of it flies in formation with the shuttle and spins around. And some of it goes off at weird angles. But they all glow and fly around the shuttle. And that had to have been the fireflies he was talking about.
Yeah.
Reflection.
These little pieces of
Why
ice
do they
coming
glow?
from it. Because they're in the sunlight.
Oh.
We can't see them in the dark. But actually you can, some of it, because some of it's above the earth shadow, but especially in the sunset portion. But in the daytime, they glow like any star, only they're right there with you. They're not way up high, they're right there in formation with the shuttle.
So do they censor anything that you guys say, or do they just take what they want to say or what they like and then they show that?
NASA has like open policy, much to our dismay. Yeah, everything.
So everything you say could be taped and monitored.
Everything is, yeah. We have
So I guess
every evening we have a private medical conference with the doctor where we tell the doctor how we feel, and stuff like that. But technically
can't really give you a prescription, just fax it up.
No, that's up for us, that's up to us.
Yeah.
Do you have a fax on board?
Yeah,
Really?
it's not like a really good fax, it's a really old one.
Really?
Seems like they'd have a.
Yeah, you spend
yeah.
$23 million on a toilet and you buy a $500 fax.
Yeah.
No, but unfortunately, it has to work on like the S-band
Oh, yeah.
frequency range.
Hmm.
In fact, I think our teleprinter is like, some of that space technology had something to do with how well faxes advanced or something. With that pretty amazing fax machine.
Surprised me.
But we have to have our antenna out. We have an antenna that swings out on a boom from the payload bay, and it has to be out in order for the faxes to be output. Because it's that special frequency where we get graphics and TV
Yeah.
and all that.
So they have regulations like for the men and women about no jewelry or anything like that, or is it pretty much whatever you, I mean, like if you, I'd like to see like on your next mission, big old hoop earrings or something.
Yeah, that's how I wore little hoops. And I still have those. I'm trying to figure out, what to do with
Those are-
those.
Does anybody ever say anything like, you really shouldn't be doing that, or?
We have a rule. We have a rule that says we're allowed to carry up 10 personal items to fly for people.
Mhm.
How big a space can they take up?
All of the personal items have to fit in a bag. It's like this big little pouch bag. It's
Wow.
big. And I'm sorry, 20 personal items. And, so you take some for your mom, you take some for your dad, your sisters, and your nieces, and,
Mhm.
your aunt, your uncle, Dan Adams.
Chelsea got a T-shirt, that was pretty big.
Yeah, we took up something for Chelsea, and a can of space tuna for socks.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't mention that.
Yeah, they, but that's, and then whatever you wear normally to work during the day,
Yeah, so with the uniform,
Yeah.
whatever would be.
is allowed.
Mhm.
And I really took a chance, because I wore these earrings, not these earrings, but I wore a pair of earrings
Uh-huh.
with my flight suit and everything, with my
Cool.
survival suit.
Good for you.
But,
Pushing the envelope.
it's like,
Oh, that's what it's all about?
Dan has a picture, I have some pictures of us, but, Dan showed the picture of me, I guess, wearing these earrings, and I was in the cockpit of a T-38 or something, and that's what everyone can see is those earrings. They're like, she
Isn't
should
that
be wearing
funny that
earrings. It's
how
like the
people-
military thing,
People
Oh,
focus on that.
Yeah.
But see, it's a civilian outfit. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not a
so funny.
military outfit, but it is. When we did the spacewalk, I made a big point of checking to make sure both my earrings were there before we closed the hatch and depressed. And the last thing in the world we need would to have a loose earring float out of the, out of the
Yeah.
airlock there in front of all the TV cameras.
Oh, yeah,
Where'd that
that'd be
earring
cool.
come from? That'd have been a mess.
Well, were you guys nervous or afraid at all when they shut off the one engine, or can it run on the other three?
Yeah, I can run on the other two, and I tell you, that came and went without me even knowing it. I was so
Really?
dadgum busy on the mid-deck doing all these mid-deck experiments that I didn't even know Don had shut it down.
Really?
He came down and got something to eat.
What if they can't get it started
I
again?
know, that's big for a long
Yeah.
time. He came down and got something to eat, and I was like, how's the fuel cell coming? I was all wrapped up, and some mid-deck thing goes, oh, it's down. It's like, I missed it. And then he brought it back up later on that day and came up without a hitch. And I was in the middle of something else, and I go, how's that feel so good? Oh, it's up. And I
I can't believe you don't wash your hair for a week.
They had the
You
stuff
look
called
great up
no-red.
there.
They had the stuff called no-red, which you
Uh-huh.
towel in your hair and then wipe your hair
Yeah.
with the towel, but it's not like washing your hair.
You look great, and all those pictures,
Yeah.
I always, every time you came on, I go, gosh, her hair looks bad.
Did somebody really leave the lid up on the
So,
toilet?
that was a big,
How did that get started? Or do you know?
yeah, and I know how it got started. The toilet, this toilet has more instrumentation than the rest of the shuttle, I think. This toilet has, it's got a seat. Yeah, it's got a seat and it's got a lid. And they can tell whether or not the seat and the lid are down by looking at all these switch positions, these micro switch positions, these little relays. When you close it, it sets a relay.
Supposed to.
And somehow one of the little relays wasn't working. So they assumed that the lid was
Somebody
up
had-
because it was the lid relay and it wasn't showing showing that the lid was down, and it was the relay that had a problem, not the lid. So they called up and said, did someone leave the seat up or lid up or whatever on the toilet? And as soon as they said it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that, on that.
This is gonna make the news, you know. And
Oh,
sure enough, we
yes.
got a little
Oh.
news clips the next day on the modem. It's like they send up the national news on the modem every morning so we can read the daily news headline story.
What version is
Well,
it?
you
Just
know,
the
meetings
AP?
boys.
It's AP News and it's CNN network or something like that. And crew members leave lid up on toilet.
Yeah.
It's like,
Leave the seat up.
Oh, I think that if all the world, you know, the students, the kids that were watching, was, you know, that just made you human or something for them.
Yeah, but it's not true.
They were most interested in was the seat, the toilet.
but the thing is, all they had to do was say, check the lid micro switch. They didn't have to go, did someone
Yeah.
leave the lid up? Or
Yeah,
something?
do leave the seat up. Well, did the other guys who've been on missions before, did they like the new toilet much better than the old one?
The new toilet's a big improvement.
What was I mean, is it just?
The old toilet, when you go, first of all, the urinal part is essentially the same. When you urinate, you just urinate a hose, and
I love it.
there's a fan that just pulls
Men
away.
and women, huh?
And on the other part, the potty, on the old toilet, it has a lid and a bowl, and you just go in there,
Good.
and then when you're done, supposedly you close the lid, and it all just stays in the bowl, free floating.
Yeah, sure, it
You
stays
know.
in the bowl.
Yeah, but there's a little lid on it,
Uh-huh.
and it all stays in the bowl. On this new potty, you drop a little bag in there, and it's got a fan that pulls the bag down. And you go in the bag, you put a lid on the bag, and then there's a trash compactor that compacts all the way down to this big, at the bottom of this big canister. So it's not a bowl anymore, it's a long canister. And so you can build up these little bags in this canister till you've got about 30 goes in there. And then you can take the canister out and stow it with the filter lid.
Throw it out the hatch, yeah.
And then you put a new canister in and you can keep going. On the old toilet, when that bowl got full, you know, there's nothing you could do. I mean,
Wow.
It never got full before, did it?
oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Some poor slob at KSC has to clean that out after every mission, you know.
Well, what
But on the
did
new-
happen in the old one? When it got full, how would you relieve yourself?
There is no option except to pull out the old Apollo bags, which are plastic bags.
Oh, okay.
That's what you had to do. And the old one broke numerous times. There were problems where they couldn't get the lid open. So then you would have to go with the plastic bag. On this new one,
That seems difficult. You know, even whether you're in zero gravity or on Earth, it seems like it'd be difficult to do a plastic bag.
and the reason it costs $23 million is because it's waterless and, you know, it has to handle weightlessness. And
Oh, yeah,
when you go, it's like things don't drop down in there. You know, you have to have a fan to suck things down. And,
Well, like all the contracts that we worked at Wright Pat, I mean, that you have all these specifications, and to meet the specifications, you start spending more money, and people don't understand that, you know, what they have to meet.
it's pretty, you know, I don't know why it cost $23 million, but it seems like it's an improvement over the old one.
Yeah,
And
that
you
sounds
hear
like
about-
it.
When you hear about some of these other things, it costs a heck of a lot more on the station side, you know.
I don't think we should have had an inauguration.
Why are
We
people?
skipped it. Skip that.
That toilet was a really good improvement though, because it can break a lot of different ways and you can still use
still
it.
work.
But the old
Yeah.
one was like a single point failure.
Uh-huh.
And if
That's
if
it,
it
huh?
broke, you couldn't use it, you had to go to Apollo bags. And a lot of crews in the past have gone to Apollo bags.
Good.
And
Do you ever see space junk out there?
just
Or
the
you talk
ice,
about it?
just the fireflies.
You don't
Yeah.
see anything like, oh, geez, they left a McDonald's bag up there.
All the stuff comes home.
Yeah.
You don't see any Soviet junk. You don't really see.
When did you meet Clinton? Before?
Thursday.
Really?
Yeah.
Just this? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's Thursday.
Did he say, I feel your pain?